Imagine a world where people are constantly looking for clues. Not in obvious ways, but in small moments. They watch for a tiny crack, a quick reaction, a flicker of feeling they can figure out and use against you. In every talk, every quiet moment, every small shift in your voice, they are trying to understand you. Because once they know you, they can start to control you. Machiavelli, a master alchemist of power, understood this deep truth. He knew that if you become predictable, you become easy to break. If others can guess your next move, your feelings, your fears, they can plan their attacks perfectly. You won't even see it coming. Machiavelli's alchemy of self isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about learning to move through the world like a shadow in daylight. You are there but hard to touch. You are visible but impossible to read. Chapter 1: The Base Metals, Common Weaknesses That Betray You. The first step in alchemy is to understand your raw materials, the common weaknesses that give your power away. Most people walk through life with soft spots, and these soft spots often look like good qualities: kindness, being open, being humble. But to a Machiavellian mind, these are just signals. This person is safe to trick. This person won't fight back. This person is easy to take advantage of. Let's look at 3 common base metals that instantly attract those who would control you. Weakness 1: the desire to be understood. Most people deeply want to be seen, heard, and approved of. They believe if they just explain themselves well enough, others will finally respect them. But here's the alchemist's truth. The more you try to explain yourself, the weaker you look. Every explanation you give is like saying your worth is debatable, that your truth needs their approval. Once someone senses you need to be understood, they have a hook into your mind. All they have to do is hold back that understanding, and you'll chase it. Keep talking, over-explaining, hoping they'll finally get you. Meanwhile, they're just watching and learning everything about your inner world. Machiavelli would say power is in mystery and quietness. The moment you show all your feelings, you lose your advantage. This doesn't mean never showing emotion, but it means you must train yourself to survive without needing to be fully known. Not everyone deserves access to your true self, and most will use it against you. Weakness 2: the fear of being seen as bad. This is one of the most powerful fears, and Machiavelli knew it. People often act out of fear, and a very old fear is being disliked by others, being called rude, selfish, or mean. We're often taught to be nice, polite, and agreeable. Don't make others uncomfortable. Don't stand out too much. But the people who rise to power are often those who can handle being disliked, who don't need everyone's approval. Because if someone senses you're afraid of being disliked, they can use it to make you feel guilty, shame you, or pressure you into doing what they want. They might say, "Oh, I thought you were nicer than that," or "That's not very helpful of you." If you back down even once, you've shown your fear. Weakness 3: the addiction to peace. Most people want life to be smooth, comfortable, with no arguments. But Machiavelli knew a secret. Peace is often an illusion given to you to keep you easy to control. Think of history. Big changes, new leaders, powerful groups. They didn't come from peace. They came from challenges, from discomfort, from people willing to risk today's calm for tomorrow's power. Being addicted to peace makes you soft. You avoid difficult talks. You accept small insults. You hold in your anger. You say it's okay when it's not, just to keep things calm. But Machiavellian power doesn't grow in quiet peace. It grows in pressure, in tension, in your ability to face conflict with calm eyes. The person who can stay composed in chaos becomes the leader. Stop making peace your main goal. Make power your goal. Learn to step into tense situations without trying to fix them. Just hold the space. Let others feel uneasy. Let go of harmony if it costs you your self-respect. When you free yourself from needing constant peace, you become untouchable. If you're ready to transform your weaknesses into strengths and build an unshakable presence, take a moment to like this video. Your support helps us share these powerful strategies. And for more transformative insights into mastering unseen influence, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Your journey to inner alchemy starts here. Chapter 2: The Alchemist's Furnace, Purifying Your Reactions. Eliminating these weaknesses isn't just about appearing strong. It's about becoming strategically useless to those who would feed off you. Most people want to connect with you, but many also want to take from you. Your time, your energy, your understanding, your agreement. And they keep getting it because you keep giving it away. And this is the alchemist's furnace, purifying your automatic reactions. The person who always needs to be understood is constantly showing emotion. Nervous laughter, fidgeting, too many nods, a soft voice, blinking fast or looking defensive. They think they're being friendly, but Machiavelli would see it. A desperate need to be liked, to be safe, to be understood correctly. This person isn't seen as kind. They're seen as easy to control. The more feelings you show, the easier you are to read. And the easier you are to read, the easier you are to play. Machiavelli's fix. Train your face to be unreadable. Speak with weight, not speed. Master a neutral, calm look. Don't smile unless you mean it. Keep your chin level. Respond with pauses. Pauses create tension. Tension creates power. If someone can't tell if you're angry or calm, happy or bored, they'll treat you with caution. And that caution is a stronger form of respect than any compliment. The fear of being seen as bad is deeply set in your habits. You say yes when you don't want to. You soften your voice to seem nicer. You always explain your personal limits to make them seem fair. You agree publicly even when you disagree privately. You hide your ambition so you don't look too proud. But each time you try to prove you're a good person, you actually prove something else. That you're afraid of being called a bad one. And smart strategists see this immediately. Because if your identity depends on your good name, all they have to do is threaten your name. Even a little, and they control you. A small accusation, a raised eyebrow, a quiet comment, like, "Wow, that's cold." If that's all it takes to make you back down, you've already lost. Machiavelli would have you completely change this. Be willing to be called selfish. Let them say you're cold or ruthless. Let them say it in their groups. And respond with quiet indifference. Don't defend your choices, just make them. Then, move. The next time someone tries to make you feel guilty for doing what's best for you, say only this: "That's your opinion." And then go silent. No defense, no reasons, no emotional talk. Because the moment you stop chasing their approval, the game changes. Now they chase your approval. And you'll find yourself in a position few people reach. Complete control over your actions without having to do much. The addiction to peace isn't just about avoiding fights with others. It's about avoiding inner conflict. The difficult truth you keep avoiding. The necessary conversation you know you need to have. The bad habit you know is hurting your future. The fake friend you haven't cut off. All these things keep you stuck. Machiavelli would call this weakness strategic cowardice. Because in your search for calm, you let problems grow. You let others insult you, test your limits, drain your energy, and you smile through it. Not because you're good, but because you're scared. Scared of losing the feeling of peace. Scared of what happens when you truly stand up for yourself. But Machiavelli would argue that growth happens in challenges. The most powerful people are the ones who willingly step into difficult situations and stay calm. True leaders create some discomfort, not to be mean, but because it's necessary. You need to build your ability to handle conflict. You need to get so good at staying calm in a storm that people stop creating storms around you. Because when someone knows that drama, anger, accusations, none of it changes your calm presence, they stop bringing that energy around you. Machiavelli's fix. Once a week, do something that creates a small amount of tension. Say no without explaining. Delay a reply you'd normally rush. Disagree calmly in public. Watch how you feel, and do it anyway. Your body must learn that survival doesn't need constant comfort. And soon, others will stop expecting you to make them comfortable. Because they'll know you're not there for that. You're there to act with power, not permission. Chapter 3. The Alchemist's Refinement. Mastering Outer Signals. These cold fixes, aren't just small changes. They're complete rewiring instructions for your behavior. Because if you keep trying to be liked, understood, and safe, you will never gain real respect. You will always be playing someone else's game, using rules that were made to keep you predictable, polite, and without power. But once you remove these weaknesses by their root, once you get rid of the strong desires that make you easy to trick, people won't know what to do with you. They'll start thinking carefully about their words. They'll respect your personal limits. They'll offer more than they ask. Not because you said anything, but because your presence is now backed by something colder than fear and deeper than charm. It's self-possession. And once you have that, there's no easy way to break you. No attack that works, no pressure that bends you. You're not just trying to protect yourself anymore. You've become the standard, the unseen force that shapes the room without raising your voice. And from that place, Machiavelli would say, you're no longer just a target. You are the one who is powerful. Let's look at 3 specific ways these weaknesses show up in daily life, and how Machiavelli would coldly fix them to remove your easy prey signals. Fix 1. Stop smiling to reduce tension. A smile is often used to make others feel comfortable, but Machiavelli would see it as immediately giving away your power. When you smile first, especially when there's tension, silence, or uncertainty, you are telling the room, I'm here to make you feel safe. I don't want trouble. I seek approval. And around powerful people, that is a big mistake. You show your hand. You make them the authority. Machiavelli's solution: learn to keep a neutral face. Even when things are tense, let others smile first. Let them break the tension. Your quietness creates a space where people show who they really are. The most powerful person isn't the one who talks the most confidently. It's the one who feels no need to make others comfortable. Fix 2. Slow down your reactions. Most people respond too quickly to a message, a request, or a story. Machiavelli would shake his head, because speed doesn't look like competence. It looks like easy obedience. Fast reactions mean you don't fully own your time, and people who want to control others feed off this. They expect you to keep responding fast. That way they control how things flow, and by doing so they control the power. Machiavelli's cold fix: slow everything down. Let people wait for your answer. Not just texts, but in conversations too. If someone asks you a question, pause. Let the silence grow. Then speak. Slowness in talking and making decisions shows one thing: power. Because only the powerful feel they can take their time. The weak rush. To change this, make them wait. Watch how quickly their true feelings show when they no longer control the rhythm. Fix 3. Stop over-explaining your intentions. This is a quiet, but very damaging habit. You say something confidently, you stand your ground, and then, a second later, you soften it with, I didn't mean it like that. Or, not to sound harsh, but you think you're being thoughtful. What you're actually doing is asking for safety. And Machiavelli would see it instantly. These explanations are like smoke signals from your ego. I'm scared of being misunderstood. I'm afraid of your judgment. Please still like me. Once that's seen, once your intentions are always being questioned, you become the one defending yourself. You're not in charge anymore. You've given away control of your story. And the more you explain, the more unclear you look. Machiavelli's fix: say less and let your words stand on their own. If someone misunderstands you, let them. If they ask, what did you mean by that? Reply with, exactly what I said. Let the lack of clarity work for you. Because once people realize you won't soften your words to make them feel better, they stop assuming they can control you. Now they become the ones trying not to be misunderstood. Now they explain themselves. Now they change their tone. And in that shift, you win, without saying a word. These aren't just tricks. They are powerful transformations. You are no longer trying to be seen as good. You are not explaining your value. You are not rushing to fix misunderstandings. You are calm. You are watching. You are letting others push too far, reveal too much, react too quickly, and while they struggle to figure out your quietness, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear to them. This person cannot be controlled by social pressure. They don't flinch. They don't smile to please. They don't explain. They don't chase. They don't soften. And suddenly, they treat you like a wild card, like something they can't quite put a label on, like a risk. And that's the best place to be. Because in a world full of puppets and people-pleasers, the person who shows no obvious strings becomes both respected and a little feared. That's how you stop being a target. You become a mirror, calm, still, and impossible to break, and whoever looks at you will only see themselves. Now, as these weaknesses are removed, and you no longer smile to calm others, no longer rush to react, no longer explain your every move, you enter the final stage. Not just surviving, but rising above. Because the goal isn't just to stop being prey, it's to become the force that quietly organizes the entire situation. The one who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't flinch, but who is still at the very center of everything. Feared, respected, consulted, but rarely understood. This is what Machiavelli would call strategic mystery. You become hard to read, hard to predict, hard to move. And in a world where most people show all their emotions, constantly explaining, defending, reacting, you become something different, something the room has to adjust to. But to truly make this last, you must stop needing anything from others. Respect, approval, agreement, peace, all of it is extra weight. All of it is bait for manipulation. And when you remove that need, something powerful happens to those around you. They no longer know how to control you. They lose their grip. They panic, not because you've attacked, but because you've stopped being available to their tricks. So let's remember the final simple truths that complete this transformation. Your reputation is a tool, not just a reflection. Design it. Silence is your loudest message. Use it. Power is chosen, not asked for. Take it. This shift, this transformation, doesn't just change how others treat you, it changes how you treat yourself. You start to see how often you used to weaken yourself by over-explaining, over-apologizing, over-reacting, by trying to be like others instead of being unshakable, by trying to fit in instead of being remembered. That old version of you is gone now. Now you move with careful self-control. You understand that your presence is your power. And every word, every look, every signal is either making that power stronger or weaker. So you choose to make it stronger. You don't rush to fill quiet moments anymore. You don't make yourself less intense to make others comfortable. You don't soften your self-control to please others. You show the quiet strength of a person who does not need to be understood, only respected. That's your advantage. And it makes people nervous. They'll search your face for clues. They'll push just to see if you'll react. They'll talk more when you say less. Why? Because they're trying to gain an advantage. And every second you remain calm, they realize they don't have it. This is where you become powerful. Because you're not playing the emotional game anymore. You're playing the energy game. And your energy is no longer something they can easily control with praise or rejection. It's steady, unchanging. It moves on your terms. That's what makes you unreadable. But make no mistake, people will test you, especially when they can't read you. They'll throw out tempting ideas, hoping you'll chase them. They'll pretend to be open, hoping you'll also show your weaknesses. They'll try to make you feel guilty, flatter you, provoke you, not to truly connect, but to break your steady presence. Don't give them what they want. Let their tricks fail. Let the silence grow. Let the tension build until it breaks them, not you. Because when someone tries to test your limits and finds none, they begin to believe you have no limit. That is power, not brute strength. not loud words, but the quiet, slow wearing down of their confidence in controlling you. And once they lose that belief, they obey. Not out of fear, but out of respect. Because now they know, you don't need them. You don't need their approval, their praise, or their understanding. You've built something stronger than charm. You've built presence. When the last piece clicks into place, when your emotions are no longer easily seen, when your energy cannot be swayed and your silence becomes sharper than any words, you cross a threshold. You stop being seen as just another person in the room. You become a powerful presence, something people feel before you speak. Something they can't quite define, but instinctively respect. Or fear. Or both. This is the final stage of Machiavelli's game, not just to understand power, but to become it. Because an unreadable mind doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't demand respect. It creates an atmosphere where disrespect simply doesn't happen. People don't even think to challenge you, not because you're scary, but because you're impossible to read. And what can't be read can't be predicted. What can't be predicted can't be controlled. This is where true mastery begins. You become the one who others adjust for, the one whose opinion is valued but never begged for, the one whose approval is precious precisely because it's never given away freely. People talk carefully around you. They phrase things with more thought. They ask questions more precisely, not because you frighten them, but because your calm presence forces them to be more aware, and awareness is a kind of giving in. Machiavelli knew that most leaders fail not by fighting battles, but by making mistakes. They show too much. They speak too freely. They react too quickly. And by doing so, they give their opponents the very tools that will undo them. But you give nothing. Not your doubt, not your desperation, not your hidden envy. You've sealed those doors. And what remains is a stillness that cannot be broken. The journey to becoming a master alchemist of self, where your inner weaknesses are transformed into unseen power, is a profound path to self-mastery. If today's insights have resonated with your desire for true control, you're ready to cultivate this impenetrable presence. Here's how to ensure your transformation continues. Hit the like button if this deep dive into Machiavellian wisdom has helped you understand the power of being unreadable. Your support helps share these vital lessons. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Your journey to mastering unseen influence and becoming an alchemist of self begins now. I'll see you in the next build.